It's 11 minutes past 9. This is CitizenFM 93.7, and it is the Zuma show on the 13th day of the 6th month of the year. That is 13 June 2022. My name is Kemi Asheku. My loved ones call me Kem, and I like it that way. This is a talking point on the Zuma show, or better still, you call it Zuma Talking Point. And what better to talk about than to discuss the reason why we all have this public holiday that we currently have today, celebrating Democracy Day. The easiest or the best way to say or to start it will be to say that you cannot shave a man's head in his absence. That's a memorable quote by the man, Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, who is the major reason why June 12 has become sacrosanct in Nigeria. Another memorable quote by MKO Abiola is, "No one can give you power. It is yours. Take it from this day. Show to the world that anyone who takes the people of Nigeria for fools is deceiving himself and will have the people to answer to." This morning, out of great and utmost respect for a man who lost his life in the course of trying to get his mandate, established as the president of Nigeria, and for whom and to whom we have been able to eventually kick out the military, from the presidential villa, we will be taking a great look at June 12. We will be looking at June 12, discussing the events that led to it, and eventually what happened to this great man. I have on the line with me this morning a senior legislative aide to the current Senate President Amalawan, in the person of Mr. Olalekan Paul. But before we go into that, I would like to quickly take a break and then play you something that if you were born and, aware at that time, right, you would remember this, and it will bring you fond, nostalgic, perhaps sad memories. I'll be back in a bit.
No life, this more water than they bring now so dirty they pull am. This more money I they get now social transport they chop am. School low, na headache, hospital no work, I tire for life oh. My brother, waiting you they think oh. My sister, help don't come. SDP, MKO, Kingibe, action. MKO, Kingibe, SDP, progress. Abiola na the hope, SDP na the party to solve our problem and better our life. Oh, MKO, 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 action. Abiola, 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 progress. Now him be the hope for better tomorrow.
Nigeria on the march again.
On the march again.
Looking for Mr. President.
On the march again.
MKO is our man.
MKO is our man.
Now him go make our country better.
He's the man.
For progress and a better tomorrow.
He's our man.
Make you vote for him, my brother.
He's the
I say make march again.
On the march again.
SDP the people's choice.
On the march again.
MKO is the man.
Citizen FM 93.7. I am almost moved to tears. Imagine that a man went through all of that and that mandate was aborted. But then, if you say that he gave his life for this country, you will be absolutely correct. Like I said earlier, I have a senior legislative aide to the Senate President Ahmad Lawan and also a political analyst and public commentator on the phone with me this morning in the person of Mr. Olalekan Paul. And we will be looking at June 12, 1993. A very good morning to you, Honorable. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Kem. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, everyone.
And good to have you on. Yes, good to have you. Thank you. Good to have you on the Zuma show this morning. Can you just quickly tell us a bit of what you remember about June 12, 1993?
Well, the history and the record of June 12, 1993 is there and will always be there. I remember I was very young then, and there's this tsunami of MK Abiola everywhere. Everywhere you go to, you see MK Abiola. Like, even your household is literally campaigning for MK Abiola. Like, people were looking forward to a new dawn, a transformation, a new beginning. Hope 93, the buzz was there. Everyone was looking for, like, okay, this is a new beginning for the country and for the nation. And there was much effort towards ensuring that he wins and in all the polling units, and which he actually did. And well, sadly, we all remember what happened, and we are now glad. I think what we are now looking up to is that we now the results of 1993, that's Abiola 93, has now manifested. What he fought for is now, we are now holding on to now. I mean, we rest on the solace that the labor of our heroes past, which of course include MK Abiola, is not in vain. Amen. With the present political reality.
Amen. Well, for some people, there was a lot of hope at that time, and that was one of the reasons why it was rightfully tagged Hope 93. At that period, Nigerians voted for MKO, Moshood Kashimawola Wale Abiola, regardless of if he was a Muslim, a Christian, regardless of if he was a southerner or northerner. Nigerians went out en masse to vote for this man. I don't know, do you think that if he had been, let's now say that assuming we had a crystal ball and we're able to turn back the hands of time, do you think that if he had been opportuned to be the president at that time, we will be where we are today as a nation?
Well, Abiola, if he had been opportune to govern the country, I think we would have gone past this. Because as much as we can criminalize, demonize, and condemn Abacha, his projects that he did, we still have some of his legacy projects running in this country. And if you look at Abiola and Abacha, they are of the same political group, only that what differentiates them is the clothes or the attire in which they put on. Abiola has a successful businesses. He has successful chains of businesses across the country. Print, the media, investing in the media, oil and gas. I mean, name one sector that Biola's hand is not there, and they were all successful. Even though he was playing his politics by the side, or his political career wasn't in any way affecting his business career. We also know how much he's a lover of sport. He invested so much. I mean, we have
Abiola Babes, yes.
The Abiola Babes, yeah. So he invested so much in sport. Even as a private individual, we saw how he was giving much attention to sport, and sport was at that point developed. I could remember that back in the 90s, people would go to Adamasiba Stadium in Ibadan to watch football. People will come to the Lagos Stadium to watch. Our national league. People will travel as far as to Kano, to Bauchi to watch local leagues. But how many people even go to Liberty Stadium today in Ibadan to watch Kano Pillars and Enyimba FC playing football? But back then, you could see how the impact of just one individual successfully impacted the sports industry. So I think we would have, by now, if we had been allowed to govern, we would be at peer with developed countries. We will be at peer with developed, because each sector of the economy would have been strengthened. Institutions would have been strengthened to meet the yearnings of the country, of the citizens.
Mr. Olaleko Paul, some people say that the challenges that we face today is as a result of that abortion. Do you agree?
Well, I won't completely agree. Yes, there are challenges, because he was not given the pattern of leadership, and we had an interim government. That was just there for some period, and the military came back in. But notwithstanding, I think if our leaders in the past, yes, there was a challenge in the first place. It wasn't given the mandate to rule, to govern. Let me not say to rule, because using the word rule is like sounds autocratic.
Yes.
Yeah, so to govern. So I think if he had governed, there would have been a lot of difference. And the challenge is I did not govern. So of course the military did their best, but we had expected that the democratically elected government in 1999 to 2015 would have done a lot more better. That was the hope we held on to. But the fact that they failed us is why we are here today.
Okay, the fact they failed us is why we're here today. Now, a lot of people have been trying to, I have heard it, from different quarters, that there are very similar characteristics, so to speak, between 1993 and 2023. I don't know if you've heard this too.
Yes, of course.
Would you say that we might be being given another opportunity to get it right, or do it right this time? This time we are getting it right. We are getting it right, because I want to be optimistic like you.
Yeah, so there is no time in this country as young people who come out to say, I want to go get my PVC, I want to vote. If you look at the PVC drive in Nigeria as of today, it's being run by even young people. Them are individuals saying, no, guy, you have to go and get a PVC. So I think this point you are getting it right. And you are getting it right in the fact that what should have happened in 1993 that was aborted will definitely repeat itself. There will be a landslide victory.
Mr. Olaleko Paul, we are not campaigning yet. Please, let's keep it within the June 12th Democracy Day. Now, before President Buhari, decided that June 12th was the authentic Democracy Day, we used to celebrate Democracy Day on the 29th of May. In your own opinion, do you think that it was right to have shifted it from May 29, which President Obasanjo, who is MKO Abiola's brother from the same state, do you think that it was a good move? And if so, why?
Well, yes, it is a good move. It is a good move, and the thought there was that we would have had our Yoruba president to have done that, but no one can tell why he chose not to do that. And he took a Fulani man from Katsina State to recognize MK Abiola as the winner of the annulled 1993 election, and out of patriotism. Out of patriotism and considering his contributions, to the country, which cannot, of course, be overridden. It changed the Democracy Day to June 12th, and I think that's simply is a sign of like clearing an historical injustice, because he recognized there was an injustice in the past that needs to be corrected, and shifting May 29 to June 12, I think is one clear way of saying, see, I'm correcting the wrongs of our past leaders, and from henceforth we can forge a new beginning and go ahead. And it's a laudable one that would forever put his name in the print of stars.
Many thanks to you, Senior Legislative Aide to the current Senate President Ahmad Lawan, and I'm speaking with Mr. Olalekan Paul, who is the Senior Legislative Aide to the Senate President. Thank you so much for weighing in on this conversation this morning. We look forward to hosting you in the studio sometime very soon.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm glad to have contributed to this discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Citizen FM 93.7. We will take a break, and the break we are taking is to listen briefly to Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola as he spoke then about his plans, his vision for Nigeria at that time. That vision was aborted, but these words stay, and they are etched in gold, and the sands of time will never wash them away.
As president, it's none of my business what religious color anybody wears. In ITT, in Concord, in RCN, in Summit Oil, in the bakeries, in the bookshop, in the presses, and so we employ people purely on merit, round pegs in round holes, period. There are so many people who work for me whose hometown I don't even know. I don't even know them anyway. I don't have to know them. Because we want to be objective. If I could do that in my own small business, I think Nigeria has every reason to expect from me a clear vision when it comes to the management of the affairs of the country as a whole. Quite obviously, we need to earn more foreign exchange. We shall therefore put in place policies that will broaden the foreign exchange earning capacity of the nation. We will pursue exports and local sourcing for industry. We shall aggressively pursue the implementation of the LNG project if the logjam on the gas project has not already been broken by this administration, by this current one. We shall maximize the nation's return from oil by turning over future investment to the private sector and by removing the complex structures which makes NMPC's accountability and assessment of efficiency almost impossible. You see, there are so many layers upon layers built on this simple thing, crude oil. You don't even know whether it's oil or some mystery around it that is taking the money from the central bank. You see, I think we would demystify all these things. In my government, the daily export of crude will be published and the price at which it is sold. You see, the issue of planned implementation is simple. You see, public things are not private. We have National Assembly now. They will do their job. They review the expenditure of government and will hold public hearing. We will no longer be hearing of monetary circulars from central bank without the bankers being told. The bankers will have to be involved. You see, like I said, every effort has been made in the past to shave people's head in their absence. It must stop. I mean, it won't be allowed. I mean, the cumulative wisdom of all the bankers would have seen us out of the problem we have in this country today. But some people, they come from IMF or they come from World Bank. What do they know about Nigeria? You see, the most brilliant doctor in Norway might not have seen malaria in his life. So bringing him here and imposing him as a medical director is like sending everybody to early grave. You see, I think all that nonsense will stop. I rely on Nigerians to keep Nigeria running efficiently. And that's what it is. You see, there will be a few foreigners who will be recommended by our people, not those who will be imposed by some foreign authorities over us. We are an independent republic under God. Or aren't we?
Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, the president that Nigeria never had. Sadly, we never got the opportunity to experience all of these lofty dreams that it had for Nigeria. Thankfully, the current president, Muhammadu Buhari, deemed it fit to give honor to whom honor is due and to help us to constantly and continually remember today as a day that I'm sorry, I got a little bit emotional. For those of us who experienced the hope, the positive frenzy that came with June 12, we know that we missed something very, very great almost 30 years ago. But we are grateful and we are thankful that the respect for this day, this June 12, has been restored, and that is reminding ourselves of the day Nigerians came together, regardless of tribe, creed, or religion, to choose someone we had a lot of hope in, and that is why that campaign was titled Hope 93. This is Citizen FM 93.7. It's the Zuma talking point, and I have on the phone with me a public commentator, a public analyst, and also someone who experienced June 12. His name is Ahmad Mustafa, and we will look at June 12 together. Hello, good morning, Ahmad.
Morning, Kem. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
Good to speak with you this morning. Do you have some nostalgic memories of June 12 too? Because I almost feel like crying right now,
I am almost as emotional as you, if not more. I'm, speaking and struggling to hold back the tears, and that's particularly because if you X-ray June 12, a lot of people X-ray from the political angle, but I always look at June 12 from a developmental angle and a nationalistic angle. I can't but imagine what Nigeria would have been like right now if June 12 had not been aborted. All of the problems that we faced prior to June 12 that united us as a country and that we sought solution to as a united people, unfortunately still bedevils this country at this time.
30 years after.
Who was passionate, about wealth creation, about a stable power, about industrialization. And if you look back at what Nigeria was in 1993 to what we are right now, we still haven't made a great deal of progress away from that. If Moshood Abiola was still alive today and was running for president, his manifesto and his campaign promises in 1993 would still be very much valid in the Nigeria that we have today.
Absolutely.
That's the saddest part of all of this for me. I can imagine this was a man who came and across the nation we united Nigeria stood as a symbol of unity in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west. Everybody was clamoring for Hope 93, and that hope is still what keeps some of us going today, that there is still a future for this country if you can get it right in leadership. So of course I look back at June 12 with a lot of nostalgia. I look back at it with a lot of, I wouldn't say regret, but a lot of
what could have been.
Yes, what could have been, where this country could have been, how we could have positioned ourselves in the Committee of Nations. Before I came on air, I was listening to the clip that you were playing. This was a man who was talking about bringing Nigerians to run this country because we understand the complexity of our society. What we have, or what we had in the past, are people who have brought lofty ideas from abroad and have refused or failed to domesticate those solutions, and they have failed woefully. So this was a man who had a vision on how to run this country indigenously. Run by Nigerians, for Nigerians.
By Nigerians.
And we can only look to the future and hope that somebody comes along the way who's going to set this country back on the path to national prosperity.
Ahmed, you said something at the beginning of your comment. You actually said the things that bedeviled us then still bedevil us now. Unfortunately, the children who were born then, even as far back as 1993, are now married, probably on their way to becoming grandmothers. You have people who do not even know that there was once a Nigeria where Nigerians will go with the naira, and the naira had even a little, had more power, than the dollar, and even was at par with the pounds. I don't know about you, but some people have tried to compare 93 to 2023. Do you think that 30 years after, this might be when we will get it right for Nigeria?
Well, I'm not a numerologist, but even just looking at the numbers, we had a chance to elect an Awolowo in 1983, and we missed it. We had a chance to elect MK Abiola in 1993, and we grabbed it with our full arms. Unfortunately, the military leadership at the time aborted that mission. But we have another chance in 2023 to set this country on its path to national prosperity, and we must, by every means necessary, ensure that we deliver on that. And I'm particularly glad because the president, in his speech yesterday in commemoration of the June 12th, said he is committed, wholly and fully committed, to ensuring that the next president of this country is elected through a transparent and acceptable process for all Nigerians. And this was what the cry was as at June 12th. June 12th today stands arguably, well, not arguably, undisputably as the most credible election this country has ever held. It was... We knew clearly where the nation was swinging, and the election results, however annulled, proved that. Yes, I completely agree that we have a chance in 2023, which we cannot afford as a nation to throw away like we did 30 years ago.
Ahmed, I asked my last guest on the phone, Olalekan Paul, and I asked him this question. I said, why do you think that it took President Muhammadu Buhari to do right by a brother of MKO? To do right by a brother of the former president Olusegun Obasanjo in the person of MKO Abiola. What I mean by that is, how come it took President Buhari to decide that June 12 is supposed to be our authentic democracy day?
Well, I cannot speak for the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, but I'm sure he has his reasons. But then he only lays credence to the fact that June 12 was, I'm particularly glad, let me state unequivocally, I'm glad that it took a northerner to put us back right where we're supposed to be as regards our democracy day. It would have been done by a Yoruba man. Some people have argued about the tribal sentiment of June 12 and its importance. Don't forget that the Southwest had always commemorated June 12, even though the federal government had not recognized it all the while. But then came along a Fulani man who saw the value and the importance and the national weight that June 12 carried and decided to honor it. This only goes to establish the fact, or further establish the fact, that June 12 was indeed a national issue and not just a sectional issue. I fear that if Obasanjo had done that, there would have been murmurs in some section of the country as to the authenticity of June 12 being our national democracy day. But thankfully, it took a northerner to establish this, and that completely blows any other contradiction completely out of the water. I cannot speak to why Obasanjo did not do it. I wish he had done it. It would have been fair and only just and right that he did it. But it's never too late to do the right thing. So President Muhammadu Buhari has done that, and I give him absolute kudos for standing by his guns and doing what is right by this country.
Ahmed, you have Ahmed Mustafa, a public commentator, is who I'm speaking with right now on the phone. You have talked about June 12, the 30 years before 1993 with Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the 30 years after him, which was Chief MKO Abiola, and we're looking. 2023 is before us. And in the north, for example, there is, in the two major parties that we have in Nigeria as we speak, there is, across the two major parties, and perhaps we say the three major parties, okay? Let me do four parties, right? In the PDP, the presidential candidate is a Muslim. In the APC, the presidential candidate is a Muslim. In the NNPP, the presidential candidate is a Muslim. However, in the Labour Party, the presidential candidate is a Christian. Amongst these three people, You know, I know that over the weekend, you know, on Twitter, there were a lot of trends about Muslim ticket and all of that. Do you think that the possibility of having the same thing, you remember that MK Abiola ran on a Muslim ticket, MK Abiola and Babagana Kingibe, you know, do you think that this might happen again? Are Nigerians, will we still be able to have this united front where we look at a person beyond their religious or their religious leanings? Do you think that Nigeria is not, do you think we're together enough not to have such a thing right now?
Well, Kem, let me be circumspect in this question that you've asked me.
Okay.
Now, Nigeria has never been more divided along ethnic and political and religious lines as it is today. Never in our history as a nation. Well, not from my own perspective. Now, what we need is a unifier, somebody who is generally acceptable. And like MK Abiola, I believe that we are ripe to have conversations about a Muslim ticket or a Christian ticket without anybody holding any fear whatsoever. I think that if we keep going along these lines of a Muslim Christian, it must be a Muslim and a Christian, or a Christian and a Muslim, then we will never truly be united as a nation, because what divides us will still be eminently clear, because we're still going to be dividing this country. The vice president is going to be a Muslim if the president is a Christian, or the president is going to be a Christian if the president is a Muslim. Those are clear divides that we're still creating up until now. I think in the spirit of June 12 and embracing national unity and coming together as one people, we must put aside all of these religious and ethnic differences and see ourselves firstly as Nigerians, and not be concerned about where somebody is from or what religion they practice. Fortunately, I look at the 4 top contenders that you have highlighted, and none of them carry the toga of a religious fundamentalist, if there is any such thing, you know. But the words have been thrown around, so permit me to say that none of them carries around the baggage or the toga of a religious fundamentalist or religious extremist. So Nigerians can, in all sincerity, put aside those fears, you know, or maybe somebody's coming to Islamize or Christianize Nigeria. That's not even remotely possible. We need to educate ourselves on these things as we approach the general elections. I don't think that it should matter to us where somebody comes from or what religion they practice. And I think that it is just what we need. You know, the beauty of it is that the medicine that will cure you is always the most bitter one. So we might just need to take a Christian ticket or a Muslim ticket to finally put ourselves together as one nation and put aside this fear that we carry about one religion dominating the other in this country.
Well, a very big thank you to you, Ahmed Mustafa. If the medicine that will cure you is usually the most bitter one, we can encapsulate it. Thank you so much for your contribution on the program this morning. It's time for me to open the phone lines and let people share their nostalgic experiences on June 12th and what they remember of what June 12th is like. Once again, I say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Ahmed Mustafa, for sharing with us your perspective on this June 12th, and we wish you a happy Democracy Day.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for having me.
All right, have a great day. June 12. Well, I will be opening the phone lines in another 4 minutes. I will first, before that, play something by the person we're celebrating today. We're celebrating all Nigerians who believe in the democratic process. We're celebrating all Nigerians who stood for these, for us to return to democracy. We're celebrating all Nigerians, some of whom lost their eyes, their limbs, their parents, their children, you know, for June 12. But most importantly, we're celebrating a man who laid down his life for the democracy we are currently I don't know if to say enjoying, but I'd say experiencing. But before I take something from him, I'll take a quick quote. And here he says, "Our youth in particular can see no hope on the horizon. Many can only dream of escaping from our shores to join the brain drain. Is this the Nigeria we want? We are plagued also by periodic balance of payments crisis, which have led to a perennial shortage of essential drugs that has turned our hospitals and clinics into mortuaries. 30 years after, it looks like the story hasn't changed. In any case, please listen to something from MK Abiola himself. May God continue to, grant his family the fortitude to bear the loss. May God grant him Aljana Fidels. And, may God grant those of us who experienced June 12, 1993, an opportunity to witness a Nigeria that we can be proud of. Here is MK Abiola again speaking.
Practically elected president, who is myself, in charge of affairs. I won't go to war. I won't encourage my supporters to go to war. I will fight for peace, and we will get peace. But you see, we do not want the peace of a graveyard, a peace whereby somebody continues to ride on the rest of us with a gun. We will get peace, but we'll get peace with decency and integrity, and honesty, and probity, and democracy.
Abiola was eventually arrested from his home in Lagos by men from the secret police in June.
And that was his last interview when he was speaking about his election and asking that the military give his mandate, or at least, allow him run the government based on winning that election. It's time to open the phone lines. 0818-2222-205 is the number to call. I did notice a few people calling while we were taking our guest on the phone, but it will have been a bit rowdy combining the two. Okay? But now the lines are open. 0818-2222-205 is the number to call. You may also call 0903-2229-797. Of course, don't forget, you can always send us a WhatsApp message to 0818 2222-205. Right? You may also call 0808-2222-037. A little from Abiola again as I wait for your call.
They are arresting me on an allegation of felony, nameless treason or something like that. They're not doing anything, they're just taking me away. Please let me go. I'm delaying them.
And so where are you?
And that was him, relaying to the BBC on the day of his arrest on June, 1994. And I'm going to take a few WhatsApp messages here. And this one says, hi. Okay, let me quickly take this call first. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Patrick.
Patrick, good to have you on the program this morning. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's a case where the solution of Nigeria was completed, defeated by some persons who think that Nigeria at that time don't deserve solution. MK Abiola, a man who could have laid a good foundation of good government, choose by people, but stop to actualize that thing by some person. I think those persons, if they are alive today, they will not feel fine, because if at all they allowed him to continue to be the president of Nigeria, some of these problems that we have right now, the fact that we still struggle with electricity, the fact that the dollar and the naira are at par, no longer at par. The dollar is now skyrocketing every second. So, and we still have a lot of unemployment.
Let me ask you something, Patrick. Where were you June 12, 1993?
My sister, I was 5 years old then.
Wow, okay. So you probably didn't even know what was really going on.
I don't know. When I get that memory.
You just saw people doing and making noise and running up and down and all of that.
No, I may not recall, but I definitely know that something was going
on. Yeah. I get you. Well,
so,
yes, go ahead.
I just hope that after 30 years, we can get it right.
Amen.
And I just hope that we will elect the next president, and the next president will fix Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where you calling from, please? Oh, Bode, why you need to move closer to your phone, please?
The phone is in my ear.
It's better. It's better now. No, it's better now. It's better now. Good morning, Bode. Good to have you on the yes.
History is beckoning upon us. 393.
Yeah.
So 1999, 2023. In between 30 years, in between them. Just like what your guest, your interviewer, the person you talked to on the other side of the phone, just like what he said. Kenny, I would have loved Lawrence, the journalist now. He was a student then. Kenya, probably you are also a student then.
Yeah, I was a student. Not in the university, but at least I was a student in the secondary school. I knew what was going on.
I was also in the secondary school then. Look, today you are a journalist.
He will look at it more in depth again from 10:05. So don't worry, it's a full package, a full dose today.
Okay, no problem. But I want him to tell me what actually led to the annulment. Somebody is not telling us the truth. What led to that annulment of that June election?
If I remember,
tell me, he's telling us something that Nigerians, just like what we said yesterday, are we looking at the religion aspect? We know the country is fragile. What are we looking at? Is the religion the solution to our problem? Or we are looking at somebody just like what your guest said? Somebody who can make the country together, who can bring everybody, both the poor and the rich. Tell me today, we have an MPO there, I could remember them, the sport of this country, who single-handedly made it something to be admired about. If you have problem, you go to MPO, he does not know you from Adam. But in as much as this ASU strike that we are talking about, once upon a time, he was able to mediate. We have rich men today, who among them have been able to take the issue of the education of this country as a priority. We have men who call themselves rich men across the country. Have they taken this country into consideration? We have so much problem. How many of them have come to help us?
Bode, it will be well.
So,
it will be well.
Between Awolowo and MPO. In next year, we are going to have another 30 years. Fellow Nigerians, I know it will be tough, but we can get it right.
We can get it right, and I love your optimism, Bode. I am with you, and I pray that we do get it right. Thank you so much for your call. All right, you can call 0818-2222-205, 0903-2229-797. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I am James calling from Maraba
James, College. James, good to have you on the program this morning.
Yes, concerning June 12th, all I need to say here is that it's the way forward. The way forward is that all the president that has come through after MKO Abiola, this one will mention 3-point agenda, another one will say 6-point agenda, another one will say maybe a 5-point agenda. Why can't the president come out and tell us that I have 1-point agenda and it will be on the power sector? Correct the power sector. Even though you're 4 years at the first 10, correct the power sector. Let's know that the power is over. When you are talking of education, work on the education. Work on it and let's be done with education sector. If it is on health, work on the health. Take 1 point. Let's achieve one at a time. Not mentioning about 5 and all the 5 are 0, nowhere to be found. That is my
complete F. Thank you so much, James. Thank you so much, James from Maraba. Right, 0818-2222-205. Ow, it's actually 4 minutes to 10 already. I was just, just all gone in the nostalgic effect of what 1993 could have been. But this is where we drop the anchor this morning. A very big thank you to everyone who contributed, from Mr. Olalekan Paul, Senior Legislative Assistant to the Senate President, to Mr. Mert Mustafa, who was a legislative aide to the Interior Minister. I'm talking about Ogbeni Rauf Beshola, and also a public commentator and an analyst. We can only pray that Nigeria will eventually achieve the goals and the dreams that, it was destined for from the very beginning. I will just end this show with a quote by MK Abiola, where he said, "If you want something from a dwarf, stoop low to his level. It does not reduce your own height. Whenever you rise up, you will be taller than him." I am, thank you to the callers too. This is it's a very nostalgic one for me. Thank you to Patrick, thank you to James, thank you to Bode, and to everyone who sat back, listened, and enjoyed the show. I am Kemi Asheku. You can call me Kem, it's fine with me. And because don't forget, you can watch a replay of the show on YouTube by logging to youtube.com, and then you set for 93.7. You will see the replay of the program today. Have a great day.